It's the 7th of December in 1942. 5 canoes glide silently over the rough Atlantic Ocean. They're on the way to the Harbor of Bordeaux, France, to destroy German oil tankers. They had hardly any idea what they would experience over the next few days. Bordeaux, France in 1942. The city is occupied by Germany and a key logistical point for German cargo. Here, raw materials and supplies for war are imported from all over the world. In the UK, Royal Marine officer Major Herbert Blondie Hassler creates a concept for a raid on the port. The plan proposes an unusual tactic: infiltrate the harbor using small silent kayaks, also named cockles, to avoid detection. Hassler's plan involved disembarking from a submarine in front of the French coast. From there, they would have to navigate 100 kilometers to the port of Bordeaux, without getting caught by coastal defenses, sentries, and enemy vessels. Then they would have to plant their timed limpet mines on ships, which would later explode and cause extensive damage. Afterward, they embarked on a 140-kilometer walk to meet with unknown French resistance members. Even if successful, they then faced an 800-kilometer journey through occupied Europe to reach the safety of Spain. The operation, codenamed Frankton, was undertaken by a group of 10 men from the Royal Marines Boom Patrol Detachment. They were highly trained in covert operations and wilderness survival. Such training was crucial in order to face the challenges that would come with the mission. The team was paddling in December, facing frigid water and harsh winter temperatures. The cold, combined with the physical exhaustion of paddling, made the mission incredibly strenuous. On top of that, the Gironde estuary had powerful currents, which made navigating and maintaining stealth difficult. The kayaks could easily be overturned, and any loud sound could alert German patrols. To make the situation even worse, on 18th of October, Hitler issued the famous Kommandobefehl, declaring that all captured commandos would be interrogated and executed without mercy. All these conditions drastically reduced the Royal Marines' chances of survival. On November 30th, after meticulous preparation, Major Hassler and his team of 12 men departs from Scotland by submarine and heads toward the River Gironde in France. They were equipped with 6 foldable kayaks, food and water for 6 days, limpet mines, pistols and knives. On the 7th of December, the submarine surfaced from 10 miles from the mouth of the estuary to Gironde. One kayak was damaged during deployment out of the submarine and was unable to participate. The remaining 5 canoes disembarked, navigating towards the River Gironde under cover of the night. They faced strong cross tides and winds, and one kayak disappeared. The high waves caused another boat to capsize. The 2 men drowned in the freezing water. Suddenly, a German frigate appeared in front of them. The remaining crew members laid down flat on their kayaks, silently gliding past them without being spotted. They continued their way, with the progress being painfully slow. After 5 hours and 32 kilometers of paddling, the men concealed their kayaks among the reeds and mud flats along the shoreline, hiding themselves from aerial and coastal surveillance. Exhausted and soaked to the bone, they remained hidden during the day, fighting off the biting cold with the little warmth their survival gear could provide. They ate sparingly from their 6-day ration packs, knowing the mission's success hinged on conserving every resource. When night fell on December 8th, the team resumed their journey, paddling with renewed urgency. The heavy winter mist provided some concealment, but it also made navigation even more challenging. Each man relied on a compass and a waterproof chart to guide them to their targets deep within the estuary. At one point, the group was nearly separated when one kayak veered off course, but they managed to regroup before continuing upriver. As they approached the outskirts of the port of Bordeaux on the 11th of December, the men encountered their next major obstacle. The banks of the port were well lit, while they had to keep 180 meters offshore. The sound of diesel engines and the occasional shout of German guards from the dockyards echoed ominously across the water. After 90 minutes, they reached the brightly illuminated ships. A tanker and a passenger cargo drove past them, but the 2 kayaks remain undetected. The next ship that comes into their view seems to be the perfect target. A German oil tanker which just arrived at the harbor. It is able to transport 10 to 15,000 tons of oil. In practice, 10,000 tons of oil could be used to power 700,000 cars or 40,000 tanks for 100 kilometers. Hassler prepares the first limpet mine. He attaches it to the stern of the ship. Then moving forward, he attached 2 other mines to the middle and the bow of the ship. They continued along the line of ships, placing limpets while avoiding detection. The hum of auxiliary engines indicated the engine rooms, and voices or music revealed crew quarters. The last ship in the group was a small German naval vessel. This vessel wasn't their primary target, but with only 5 limpets left and the tide against them, they decided to attack it. The Catfish was positioned under the stern of the German ship. Sparks, who was also sitting in Hassler's boat, fixed 2 mines along the engine room. During this maneuver, a German guard spotted them and shone down with his flashlight. Hassler and Sparks froze, bodies and paddles motionless, pretending to be driftwood. The guard, after following them down the length of the ship, apparently lost interest. They quietly turned and paddled back upriver, with enough distance to the German vessel. While Hassler and Sparks attacked ships at the Bordeaux docks, Corporal Lever and Marine Mills in their kayak Crayfish undertook a separate mission. Following orders, they paddled along the eastern bank of the Garonne River, searching for targets at Bassins South. Finding none initially, they decided to head directly to their designated ships. Once there, they successfully planted limpet mines and withdrew undetected. Later, Hassler and Sparks joined them downstream around 1 AM. Shortly after, the night erupted with explosions and the mines detonated. The blasts caused severe damage. The Tannfels, a German cargo ship, sank. The Dresden stern was destroyed and other ships were heavily holed. For the Cockleshell heroes, the successful mission now turned into a desperate escape. With no further planning possible, they faced an 800-mile journey through hostile territory in the depths of winter, paddling swiftly. They aimed to cover as much ground as possible under cover of darkness. The attack shocked German authorities, prompting heightened security measures. Major Hassler and Marine Sparks went ashore near Saint-Jean-de-Blais, scuttled their canoe and reached Ruffec by December 18. With help from the French resistance, they hid for 6 weeks before crossing the Pyrenees into Spain and reaching the British consulate in Barcelona. They returned to England on April 1st. Corporal Lever and Marine Mills were captured by French police at Montleux-la-Garde, handed over to the Germans and executed, along with Lieutenant Mackinnon and Marine Conway of Cuttlefish. The Third Reich falsely recorded their deaths as drownings. Of the 10 Marines who embarked on the mission, only Hassler and Sparks survived. 6 were executed and 2 died of hypothermia. Despite the heavy losses, Churchill credited the mission with shortening the war by 6 months, and Mountbatten praised the operation for its audacity and ingenuity. While its direct impact was limited, the raid boosted British morale and inspired books and a film. Hassler went on to become a noted yachtsman and passed away in 1987.